Hey everyone, this is a video tour of 833 North 4th Avenue. Now, this is a video intended for people who can't make this in person but wanted to get a little bit more of an insight tour. Since we are limiting the showings just due to all of the construction hazards that are throughout the house, this is just a video tour to help you kind of see a little bit more about what the house is and the location and all the high-level stuff that you may be interested in if you want to consider doing a tour of this property at a future point. So the first thing I'm looking at here around is the 360 view of the neighborhood. You can see we're right next to Catalina Park. You got the streetcar right down there. It's actually pulling up right there at the intersection of University and 4th. And this house just has such a rich history here. This is a crazy, amazing house in all the right ways, and it's originally we've seen different numbers. It's either 1904 or 1905. The assessor even has it at 1920. But what we do know is that the first owner of it was John H. Campbell, and John H. Campbell was one of the early Tucson pioneers. Right before Tucson became a state, before Arizona became a state, he was one of the district attorneys for the territory of Arizona. So he had owned this, and we went back into the archives and found several really old documents about this. So it's really cool, rich history about this property. As you can see, the first thing that you're noticing is, wow, yeah, there's a lot of work that needs to be done in this house, and absolutely it is, but it's also priced accordingly. The after repair value, we call it the ARV, is going to be anywhere between $1 and $1.2 million, depending on what metrics and comps that you're using. But there's just so much great potential here, and charm and character and history, that it's just such a unique property. So this is only the first floor of the front building. If you look on the MLS documents, there's a ton of information. All that history and research that I did on this property is all there. Now, what we're looking at is the current floor plan, which, as you can see, everything has been stripped out. And the background to tell you on why this is in the state that it is, well, we had a really cool architecture professor from the University of Arizona that had owned this property since the 70s, and he was living here for several years. In his old age now, he's now moved out to something a little bit more manageable. As you can tell, this size of property is just, it's massive, and so there's a lot of maintenance, care, and upkeep on this. And so over the years, he did some projects. The roof on this front house is actually fairly new. The back building, not so much. That one needs a little love, probably total replacement. But this current floor plan that we're looking at is a 3-bedroom. However, what's really cool is that the family, in preparation of getting this house all ready for sale, what they actually started with was they were going to be doing all the renovations themselves. They wanted to be able to fix this up and bring it to its full potential. However, the unfortunate news is when the family started to do all their renovations and getting prepped, they got all the plans approved. They spent all the money on getting an architect to draw up the plans. And in fact, I'll show you a copy of this here while we're going. We've got all these plans that have been approved by the historic committee. As you can see, they're already stamped off on, and everything is all approved, which is awesome. The issue is, of course, is that the family just ran out of time and the ability to put the attention into this project that it really needs. So, a ton of potential, like I said, great room sizes. This is, I'm not even on my favorite side here. This is my favorite side of the house. This is the north side of the upper floor. Now, there's plans, of course, the approved plans on this is to make this into a completely different configuration. And what we would be having is one bathroom, combining these 2 bathrooms. Then that would be accessible for the guest rooms on that side. And then this would be a bathroom over on here. There's so many little variations that would be needing to go into this to make it to what it really needs to be. But really cool little bonus up top here. You've got a loft area with extra storage back behind that door. So that's a really neat little feature. In here, this would have been the original sleep porch back, before they had air conditioning. Of course, you needed to be able to have this vented area where you could have a little bit of a cooler place to sleep at night. So this is one of the sleep porches. And as we go back down here, I'm going to show you the backyard, and a really fascinating story with what the architecture professor owner did on this when he was owning it. In the 1990s, the history was that over by Time Market, which is roughly back behind that intersection over there, there was an old building. It was the annex building for the Presbyterian Church that's right there on the corner. They had an annex building that they were using. And the story with that, as I'm told, is that the historic committee didn't want to have it torn down. The church didn't need it anymore. They wanted to expand. And so they were going to tear it down. But the historic committee said, well, you know what, we'll grant special permission to somebody if they want to be able to move it to their property. Well, the owner of this property then stepped in and said, hey, you know what, I'm an architect professor, and I know how to do this, and it would be a fun project. So that is where this building came from. So this was actually physically moved. It was jacked up on steel beams and brought over and set in its current place back in the 90s. So what a really awesome, cool piece of history there. It has been several uses over the years, and it obviously has fallen under a little bit of neglect. It's been totally stripped out on the inside. As you can see, this is all the old installation here for the walls, and everything has been totally stripped out. But there's so many possibilities here. Now, whether or not it will conform to the current building code standards by making this like a multifamily duplex, that's to be determined, and that's something that the buyer will need to investigate with the city. You know, there's also a possibility of doing a lot split potentially and making this two separate properties. What's really nice about this back unit here is that not only does it have the plumbing for the two bathrooms and potentially a kitchen, but it also has its own back entrance here off of Herbert Avenue. So as you can see, this is Catalina Park over to the north there, and this is a two-car carport with a sliding metal gate. So this is the alleyway for Herbert Avenue. So what's really nice is that, the owner of this property, the next owner, is going to be able to have a lot of options at their disposal, right? They can turn this into a garage workshop. They can potentially just keep this as its current situation, which is more of a storage structure. If they put a little bit of money into it, of course, there's the possibility of making this a duplex, an income property. So a lot of really great options and possibilities with this. So there's obviously a lot of work, though, that needs to be done to this property. I'm talking several $100,000. There is basement access, which I'm not going to go down to, but there is access from this side little area over here. It currently only has swamp cooler and a gas furnace. The water is off on this property, and there's obviously some water leaks around, so the owner is not going to be activating water for the inspection period for whomever buys this property, which is, I know, not typical. However, just based on the uniqueness of the property and the situation, that is something that the seller will not be doing. So that is a buyer's risk that they need to be able to assume. Metering wise, you can see that there's the one gas meter on the other side. There's the electric meter here. This is not original to the house, obviously, but it is single metered for utilities. So if you did want to end up trying to do a lot split on this over a quarter-acre property, there is the possibility of doing that. Just a lot of research and logistics have to go into making sure that that's possible. The last thing I want to mention here on this video, which is a really neat extra that the current owner and his family were able to do, was get approval for there to be a driveway curb cut-in, to be able to have a driveway that comes back through this back unit here. I gotta get that reopen there. There's the possibility to get that, have a curb cut in and then a driveway installed. You would need to obviously take this out and put a gate here. And then you'd have to contend with this here, making sure any cars don't hit that. But as the MLS documents show, there's the possibility here to actually have an approved parking lot back here for 3 cars with a driveway parking lot. So you can have off-street parking back here, which is really nice. As you know, living on 4th Avenue, there are the occasional car break-ins on the street. So anybody that lives downtown or lives down on 4th Avenue knows off-street parking is super valuable. So you've got that option here, which is a really great thing. So this is, again, just a very quick overview of this property. If there are additional questions that you have, please let me know. I'd be happy to answer more and see if you may be a contender for putting an offer in on this property and spending some time to renovate this amazing, amazing house. So thanks so much for taking the time to watch. Be talking with you soon.